And what is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation here. Just a normal guy. I got into 3D printing and I'm trying to do some like side income, side hustle type thing, seeing if I can print stuff and sell it on the internet, demonstrating, documenting the journey along the way. If you'd like to follow along in that process, maybe snipe some ideas from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So what have I got going on? All the printers are still quiet because I had travel. I've been talking about that in previous episodes. I had a bunch of episodes banked, and that's what you've been watching over the past few weeks. My travel did go well. Unfortunately, I did not win, but next year, we're gonna take it home next year. Fortunately for me though, after the fact, I was able to get COVID. So that was an extra week at a commission, but we're back to it. We're back to the grind. Let me know what you guys think about the vlog, because I'm trying to do some more longer, some more staying power type content, some evergreen content. Which you may have been seeing on the channel, but still wanted to document the vlog style stuff throughout the day today. So like I was saying, everything's kind of quiet right now. Well, everything is quiet right now. Over the past couple days, I was doing some more skull prints here. Wanted to get back into the skulls because where we last left off, we were doing the skulls, the hippo skull on the Orange Storm Giga. And we did have a failure, if you recall. That was a while back. I probably shouldn't rip it off the plate like that. But what I wanted to do was get a smaller version of the hippo skull to kind of dial in on a smaller printer before throwing it on the Giga and burning out a lot of filament. So this is the small version of the hippo skull. That did come out successfully. And so the Orange Storm Giga is quiet. I'm probably gonna fire that one up here soon. I'm probably gonna turn on my Cobras as well and get back into printing those dab stations. Also, I'm working on some NFC projects. That's probably gonna be on the Bamboos and the FL Suns. But the skulls right now are the ones I printed off. So let's take that in the office and check it out and see what else we got going on. All right, so instead of filming everything all in one go as I normally do, I'm just gonna kind of film throughout the day. Maybe that'll make for a little more interesting content. Some other developments that I've had over the previous few weeks. I did sell quite a lot when I got back and I turned my Etsy stores back on. I say a lot, but it's a lot for me. So mainly the skulls. So right before I left, I did sell one of the large Smilodon skulls there. So I printed the replacement for it, got it back in stock. When I came back, I sold another life-size human skull. So got the replacement printed there, got that back in stock. The hippo skull, probably try to get that one listed on the Etsy today. Just need to pop the supports off this. This is the Bamboo Matte PLA, so these supports come off like a dream. They always do. Overall, the quality looks pretty good. It's a 0.2 layer height. The infill is not terribly heavy. I did dial it up a little bit because everyone's like screaming at me like, you don't use enough infill, which I agree. Overall, this hippo skull, obviously it's not even close to life size, but this is like, I don't know, 1/10 scale. Hippos are big. Overall, it came out pretty good. And that's an easy print. That's to take it off the plate, put it in a box and ship it type print. You know, the quality, the fidelity's there. So I think I'm gonna mimic these settings on the Giga, you know, scaled up for the bigger nozzle. You know, increase the infill a little bit and then go ahead and get it started because, you know, that's a multi-day print on the Giga. The underside, you know, the overhangs, I didn't go heavy on the supports because honestly, I think it's probably better to have it, you know, kind of layer liney there than have that all those supports there and have that support material, because I'm not going to heat gun this and try to smoosh it and smooth it or anything like that because it's on the back. You know, as long as the Chamber of Commerce side, so to speak, it looks good, then I think that's good. And you know, that's I think it was less than right at 300 grams for this print. So a third of a spool, that's, you know, what, $4 or $5. You know, if we can get that $10 rip on it, plus shipping, you know, probably like 30 bucks or something like that. Another thing we did sell, and I can't believe I sold it, and I can't believe someone paid international shipping for it, is this SSD tray. I documented this many episodes ago of just trying like real simple prints, just sneezing stuff out. And people actually came into the comments like, that's not gonna sell. And I'm like, yeah, I agree, it's probably not gonna sell. Because this is like the simplest thing you can possibly imagine. It's for putting, you know, 2.5-inch SSDs in it as storage. But I put it on there for like $10. Not only did someone buy this, they bought it and they're in Italy. And so for international orders, I just jack the shipping up because I don't really know what it's going to be until I ship it. So I really crank it up, and I don't expect anyone to buy it, but someone did. And so they paid like $30 for this SSD holder. If that's what they want to, hey, it's a very high quality. So, you know, if they need it, that's on its way to you, bud. Some other interesting things of note right before I left on the trip. I didn't sort of document this, but I had some extra time. And so I used the ABS material that I got from buying HueForge. You get a $20 credit from Polymaker, and I was like, okay, buy some filament there. I bought some ABS from Polymaker. It's basically free. Threw it in the Flashforge to make this, the skeleton for this Dummy 13. This is 500%. This one came out great. This silk armor. So this got this nice, shiny, silky, sheeny. At 500%, you know, it's pretty impressive. It's not like the 1300% model, but it's certainly more manageable and way easier to put together. The ABS makes a big difference as well. A lot easier to pop the parts into place. I did have a break here. The silk filament, I guess it's just thin. It broke in the exact same spot on both sides. But overall, the model's been great. And I like the color combo. I did this kind of black, blue, gold sort of thing. So that's cool. Gonna put that there and maybe give it to my niece or something like that, see if she wants it. Or just, you know, kind of, it sits around until I decide to throw it away, but gonna put that somewhere. I'm gonna be doing a dedicated content here on those NFCs that I did in a vlog a while back for my store. This is my logo for my store, for the retail stores, is their logo. And I'm gonna put these little NFC tags inside, code the NFC to go to our COAs, and then put a little keychain clip on there. And we're gonna put these by the register if someone wants them. They're like $1. I'm not sure that there's a real need for them, but it's kind of a convenience thing. And it's just a nice touch. You know, again, I think it leaves a good impression on the customer to see that a business is like thinking ahead for them. Like, you know, hey, you might run into a problem with this product that you're buying, so you want one of these to kind of like, you know, have quick and ready access to information that may be helpful if you get into a tight spot. Then that's what these are for. So I was thinking, I got to print a bunch of these. I got to print a bunch of the dab stations, things like that. That Sunlu filament is going to be great for that. They sent me a whole bunch of different types, so I can kind of go through there and, you know, use those and kind of demonstrate some of the properties of those filaments. Oh yeah, the S1 Pro. So I recently put out the video for the S1 Pro from FL Sun. Yesterday, I finally ran through the nylon CF. Uh-oh, I'm touching it with my bare hands. That means can't touch my PP later. But I dried this out over the course of like 4 days. Now it's recommended to dry it at like 100 C, but this machine only goes up to 60 C in its heated chamber. Ran the nozzle at 300 degrees, ran it slow at 200 millimeters per second. But this is a desiccant tray that's made to go inside the machine to hold the desiccant pod, so I don't have to, you know, keep buying the cardboard ones. It didn't work out because, you know, these desiccant trays have like all these slits on the inside, and this prints up, and so I guess that's the stringing or something. It was just too hot, or I'm not sure if this nylon CF is really meant to do high detail, you know, fine line type prints like this, or if it's just meant to be really, really strong. The bottom looks okay. You know, it probably would work as a desiccant tray, but it's not really up to snuff. I'm so scared of touching this shit. I'm afraid about it getting bits and... Meanwhile, I've got probably 10 pounds of microplastics in my... in my body right now from these damn printers, but you know, this is it's not quite up to standard, so we're gonna keep playing around with that. And if you've got any suggestions on what I should print with this CF nylon, something that could be strong, I was trying to think of a tractor part, a lawnmower part, something that's used in like and has like a demand placed on it. I can't really think of anything. Maybe a bracket that holds a shelf up or something like that, or you know, maybe I just say F it and go for some kind of exhibition print with it that doesn't need to be strong, but is cool. Robo alpaca, dummy 13, something like that. A skull, a carbon fiber nylon skull, maybe somebody. Let me know what you think in the comments below. The other idea I'm also working on is this. So this is a standard 45-pound plate. Obviously, it is a model of a plate. It's not real because this is as big as I can get it on the bamboo. My thinking was that, you know, you see these videos of these dudes doing like ego lifting, power lifting, or people have fake weights. And so it looks like they're deadlifting, you know, 1,000 pounds, or they're squatting 1,000 pounds or whatever. and the plates are just fake. And so I looked around on, I was like, you know, I could print those. And so I was like, you know, well, does it exist? Because that's my method now. Does it exist on Etsy already? You know, is it worth printing? So I look around and there's some, but they're foam and they're really expensive. I imagine it costs a lot to ship them. But I thought, you know what, let's make some fake plates and try selling those because, you know, it's not gonna cost as much to ship a fake plate. And I have the Orange Storm Giga. I can print the full size plate because the standard size 45s are about 17 and some change inches wide, which is just a touch over how big I can do on the Bamboo. If you've got a 500 millimeter bed, then you can do these in the actual size. But the Cobras are 420, so I'd have to do these on the Giga. And I want to make some changes to this model. I kind of want to bevel or fillet the edge of this. That way when people stack the plates, it's not real uniform, so it looks like a real plate. But I thought that'd be a nice sort of thing. You know, if I can get away with producing these and selling them for like, you know, 10, 15 bucks a piece, you know, it's kind of a nice gag. Now, my only worry is that if people actually lift with these, like put them on a bar, and then they drop the bar. Bar is 45 pounds. If they drop it, this thing's gonna crack to shit. Because I'm not printing this very, very heavy. You know, it's gonna crack if people are like dropping the weights and stuff like that. So I'll worry about it, but as long as I put that in the description, like don't drop it, then I think I'll be good. But that's another little project I'm working on. The only other thing I got on my list today is because I want to start shooting these vlogs kind of throughout the day. When I go to film, I have to stop, put on my uniform, and then start filming. Why do you have to put on your uniform? Because I do. Because that's the process. I can't become the technicals without the uniform. Without the uniform, I'm just Matt. No one wants to see Matt. So I was thinking of buying a whole bunch of shirts and having them all embroidered, and that's just what I wear every single day. Because I basically wear either this or Under Armour shirt every single day, without exception, all the time. So thinking of getting a bunch of those, and that way I just can wear my uniform and be ready all the time. So I'm gonna get by that today, work on the NFC thing, try to get the printers all humming, all up and operating. And so I'm gonna give it a few hours to get some inspiration for that, and then we'll check back in. And let's see what's doing over here. So nothing on the P1P. I'm keeping her open for another character model. Probably want to start that maybe by today. I do have to paint it first. Over here on the A1, we have the rainbow going. On the cold plate, the Bichu cold plate, looking pretty good. It's a little slower, but the quality looks pretty good. I thought I did a 0.24 layer height on this one. I might have done a 0.2, so it might take a little bit longer. And down here on the Cobras, we had a botched start on this. I think I didn't feed the filament in, and this is one of the plates that had all that PET G fused to it. I'm just going with it and seeing if it's gonna work. Let's see if I can't like correct for this now. This is the beauty of the vlog thing here. It just, I thought I had this in there. It won't pull out and it won't go in, so let's take off our dealie here. Nozzle clog maybe? That's still not going through. I'm gonna heat it up to 230 and see if that helps. You know, maybe because I was running PET G in this previously, that 200's just not enough to push through. I mean, it should be. I think perhaps I've got, I don't know if I can, listen, like this is me trying to force it in, and I don't know if that's just residual stuff that I'm pulling out, but it's not like very melty. All right, so it's extruding to a point, and then it's just not anymore, so yeah. I'm thinking that's definitely gonna be indicative of nozzle clog. And so while we're down here on Cobra number 3, we've got the silk. It's the same kind as the one I'm trying to run there, but this is just all straight purple. Looking pretty good. This one's running a little slower, so I think this total print time is like 18 hours, because the Cobras do run a little slower, but I don't wanna really take any chances there because they're, I don't wanna say they're less reliable. And you know, printing all these skulls, I was gonna do the big hippo skull, get the Giga going again, hopefully within the next day or two. But I'm printing all these human skulls in all these different forms, and it made me think I don't have a giant human skull. And knowing that I can print 30 by 30 by 20, I could probably print, you know, to avoid oversized shipping charges, I could probably print a pretty big human skull on the Giga. Maybe we'll do that next. We've already got the beige loaded up, so we'll throw that in the slicer and see how it looks. And so it is the next day. We've had some time for things to flesh out. Did the Sunlu video. So all the skulls I pulled, did the video with those. I still got the remnants here of the one that failed. I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna reattempt those skulls for other various reasons, but we got a couple active prints here, so let's take a look at those. So over here on the A1, this is actually the Sunlu filament, the rainbow filament for the one skull that didn't really work out. This is actually a fortune chair. So if you're in the 3D print space and you're like familiar with other YouTubers and things like that, this fortune chair, some guy on YouTube did a video with the fortune chair. He printed a life-size version of it, but he did it on bamboo printers. Like, he printed a bunch of different parts and then glued it and sanded it and finished it all nice. It just took, it seems like it took forever. So I'm thinking I'll just print one in one big go on the Giga. But before I did that, I wanted to get like the support settings down. So I'm doing it over here, doing it with regular supports, just to kind of make sure what's what, because I don't want to get this chair printing on the Giga and it prints, you know, 5 kilos of filament before it fails. So this is kind of like a test, a model, just to kind of hold it in place. Sunlu filament's kind of a nice touch for that, because I can mention them. But it's looking pretty good right now. You know, the chair, it's like a fortune cookie turned inside out, and you just sit in it. And I guess there's some kind of legal controversy surrounding it, like, you know, whoever made that chair doesn't want people 3D printing it, and they sued him or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the video all the way through. It's just kind of like, okay, you made a chair, but I don't plan on selling this online. It's more of an exhibition thing. Maybe I'll put it in my store or something like that as decoration or whatever. But when that's done, the idea is to throw it on the Giga, which currently has another print on it. And that print is a fake weight plate. It's actually the second fake weight plate, because I already finished one and it looks pretty good, so I'm printing another one. Let's go in and take a look at that. And so, oh, so heavy. I was gonna do a video like and not show this, and then do the video with it where I'm like bench pressing and I've got like, you know, 6 of these on each side. But you know, I can't help myself. I gotta show it early. This came out pretty good. It looks like a real 45 plate. Printed it in all black, and then I took just an acrylic pen and just kind of marked on the top, because, you know, these things are never really crispy clean when you look at them, and I mean, it looks all right to me. So I think this has a lot of potential. I know I say that about, you know, like all my prints. I think people are gonna buy this, but you know, this is like, people like flexing and doing that fake gym thing, and you know, depending on what I can sell this for, I think it has a lot of potential. Now I made it a little tough because I figured people would be dropping it. I'm gonna put in the description, do not drop this, it will crack. But you know, I've kind of been banging it around on the floor a little bit, and it holds up. I did 3 wall loops, it's a 0.7 layer height. I burned some old filament spools on this, so it's kind of like there's a little ridge here where the filament change occurred. But in the future, when I do them, I can fit, I think, 3 of these on the Orange Storm Giga in one go. They do take up a lot of room. It sucks I can't print them on the Cobra, but you know, that means other people can't print them on their Cobras, which means it's like more room for me. I saw a seller on Etsy selling foam versions of these, and they were pretty expensive. And so I think I can get away, if this is 1,500 grams, let's say it cost me $20 to do it. Shipping, you know, if people get like a 4-pack of these, you know, that's at least $10 or $15 there. So, you know, it's not gonna be cheap, but I should be able to, you know, undercut pricing really anywhere else that I see it. And if you saw the video that I guess came out yesterday to you with the Sunlu stuff, the skulls, printing all the different skulls with the Sunlu filament, I would remark at the end of that video about how, you know, I sat down and pulled all the supports off of 5 of these, and I was like, you know, gosh, this just took me a long time. And so like when I'm processing one print and pulling off the supports, you know, it takes, you know, 5, 7, 8 minutes to do it. And I don't think it's that bad. And then I go on to sell this and, you know, make my whole $10. But sitting down and doing 5 of these at once, it taking like 40 minutes to do it, it really made me stop and think like, is this worth, you know, the $50 or whatever? And I've remarked, and if you've been a fan of the channel, you know that I set out to 3D print things and sell them on the internet. And then I kind of like changed course. You know, my idea was to scale up, and then I kind of like changed course and put out that video like, well, I don't know that you can really scale this. I don't really think there's any significant money in 3D printing, but as a side hustle, side income kind of thing for people, sure. And that's kind of what I've been doing. And so I do think that, you know, if you wanted to print skulls and make $10 off of it, and you sell maybe ideally a few a day, you know, that's some significant money. But for my purposes here, like, you know, I'm trying to make videos for 2 channels and do other things and work a real job and, you know, take care of things around the house. That's just a lot of time being put into this. And so you can't help but think like, well, if the goal is to end up selling a lot of these, then that's going to end up being a problem. And I'm not going to hire anybody to do this because, you know, you don't have a real business until you have employees. That's just my personal opinion. And it's never going to make enough money to hire employees to do this. And I think that's why you probably don't see a lot of print farms that have employees that aren't, you know, like family or something like that. I know it exists. I know exceptions exist, and, you know, people out there can prove me wrong, but they are the exception and not the rule. This is more of a side income thing. So my thinking was, what prompted me to think after I shot that video and I started thinking about it more is, like, I got all these prints, right? So all this big stuff that I've been printing, well, there's nothing over there, but I wanted to keep spinning around the chair. I didn't want to change direction. All this big stuff I've been printing and is listed on the various Etsy's in various places. I don't like clutter. It's like, you know, giving me agita. I don't like stuff. I like, you know, my wife and I like our house to look like no one's ever lived in it. We like it to look like a show home, and I like that in my office too. It just feels like I need to get rid of this stuff. And so I marked prices down previously. It's at the point though where it's like, you know, do I mark it down and wait for it to sell? And then, so basically I made no money, just what the cost of it was. You know, I could do that and recapture those funds, but then, you know, there's going to be a percentage of those sales that maybe have a problem, that, you know, there's shipping costs associated with it as well. And so it's going to create more stuff to do. And so I can't focus on printing other stuff to show, or just eats up time from other places. So it's like, you know, what do I do? So my thinking is, for everything that I can, and this is just an idea right now, let me know what you think in the comments below. My idea is to take prints kind of like this, maybe a lot of the spicy prints, maybe some of the smaller things, art stuff mostly, and put it in my stores, because I've been doing that with some of the other prints. If you've been following the channel, I've been sending those dab stations out. I'm working on the NFC tags for the stores. I've sent some of the giant statues to the stores. I'm not sure if any of them are sold yet. I'll find out on Monday. But my thinking is to take really the majority of this stuff and send it to the store, or at least send it to the warehouse and have the buyer or, you know, a manager look at it and say like, oh yeah, it'd be good decoration. Oh yeah, someone will pay $50 for that, whatever. And they put it in a store. Maybe it sells, maybe it doesn't. And I tell them like, look, put this in the store. If it doesn't sell after 3 months, pitch it, get rid of it, or something like that. Because it's just taking up a lot of room. It's giving me brain aids, and a lot of this stuff, it's like, you know, for instance, the Glocks, the big Glocks that I've sold. You know, I've sold one of them. I marked the price down to $275. It cost me about $1 and some change to ship it. So, you know, I'm looking at $175. I got like 70, 80 bucks, I think, in costs in the thing. And so I believe I did the cost breakdown in a previous video. I don't remember what it was, but it was like, you know, between $50 and $100 of a rip on that. And so, like, okay, then I can mark it down 50, and will it sell at $225? And anything else that crops up along the way, or if I have a little bit overage in shipping, then that's added cost. And it's just making it more expensive, and it's eating my time, which is, you know, arguably more valuable. So been rolling that around in my head. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's just a long-winded explanation of me trying to get around work, or trying to explain away why I don't want to sell things on Etsy anymore. But certainly some easier things to sell on Etsy, like maybe these barbell things. I think this all day, because it's a print it, pull it off the plate. I do have to color the text in white, but you put it in a box and ship it. And so I want to stick to things like this. It's just easy. Printing art stuff, you know, I'll continue to do the skull thing, the very large examples of skulls. I just got to find a place for them, you know, or maybe abandon it altogether. I'm not sure, but I don't want them around. I don't want them, you know, stocked. And I don't want to print on demand either, because that's, you know, a lot of uncertainty. What if I get one of those orders and then suddenly the printer doesn't work, and then they expect the order to ship within 2 or 3 days? That's just a whole bugaboo. I don't want it in my brain. I don't want to think about it. And so I really want to shift focus on to some of these things that are easier to fulfill, or, you know, are just easy to do. Take it off the printer, put it in a box, and ship it. You know, and that I thought was one of these, and maybe some of the other skulls are, but this just requires so much support. Peeling it off of there, it's just too much of a time sink. So that's the thinking with that. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Are you here to see what I'm selling on Etsy? Are you just here to see 3D print stuff in general? All very valuable information to me. My channel's really small right now, so I can take that information and kind of pivot a little bit in either direction because I like doing all these things. It's just like, you know, I like making videos, and I don't know that I want to commit to selling skulls on Etsy, because if I do sell a lot of skulls on Etsy, that becomes my job, and then that's a job. I don't want a job. I haven't had a job in 10 years, and I don't want another one. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.